Alright, so we've gone ahead and spliced some wires. As he said before, we cut the chip, so we have the positive and negative, and then on the glue gun, we went ahead and disconnected it, and we have the positive and negative. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect a longer wire to the glue gun part, because these wires aren't going to be long enough to come out the base of the glue gun. We're just going to do that with some simple connectors that we have here. Some 20 gauge wire is what I'm using. So we'll do that.
Those connectors are long enough to get up in there.
Yeah. So after, oh, here we go. After that, we're going to splice, because we used the female connector on the inside of the light. We're going to use our male connector on our glue gun. So say if we wanted to switch for the other one, we could switch them out. So I'll solder that, and I'm using 6236-2 rosin core solder, but you can use 6040. That's the most commonly used. After I get that soldered, these two soldered, then I'm going to go in here and disconnect these two wires and solder new wires onto that, and that'll connect to our female connector. So then all we have to do is place in our chips and plug it up, and we got the connections. Alright, so we're using our helping hands here to help me hold the connector in place. And as you can see, we've connected the wires to the hot glue gun part. So we're going to take the negative side, and I have my soldering gun set to 650 degrees. And I made this little thing. It's just a pen with some solder in it. So I'm going to place solder into the groove here, and then once I fill it up, I'll reheat it up and attach the wires. Are you still filming?
Huh?
You still filming?
Yes, Joel.
Alright, so I've got it tacked on there. Now I'm going to take just a little bit more and cover the wire so we don't get disconnected at any time. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for the positive side. We'll flip it over, this clip. There's a little, oh shoot, disconnected. Alright, we'll fix that in a second. But
That's what I mean, your wire wasn't long enough.
So we'll, I'm going to do the positive wire in here now. Same setup. So I take the solder, fill this little gap in here in with some. And I take my wire, and I tack it down with that. And I take the rest of the solder and cover it up so you don't get any loose connections. And try and keep your wires as short as possible so you don't have any cross wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this right here where we had small, where we had the wire disconnect, and come back and show you the next part. Alright, so I went ahead and connected the female connector to the wires that we're going to attach to the board. I trimmed some of the plastic on the trigger off just so we can fit it into the gun better once we get there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two wires off, and you can see here it says LED in really small, and it has a positive and negative just in case you forget, but I just kept these on here just so I know what connects where. So I'm going to solder that up, and then we'll be able to put it in the gun. First thing I'm going to do is cut this off, cut this one off. So what I've found is easiest to do is to take your solder and your soldering gun and get a dot on here so you have a little bubble of solder here. Alright. So then from there, come in, we heat this back up. Oh. Heat this up. Let me get are wired in there. We'll do the same for the negative side. There we go. Alright, so let me keep this all warm. Help me out here. Yeah, just hold that down. Thank you. Might need a second person or something to weight the chip down to hold it in place. So this isn't working as well, so I'm going to have to put some solder back on top of it. That's easy. I just come back here. Soldering gun. Some solder. Put it right on top. Having a hard time getting this one to stay. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna put some more on this red wire over here just because the connection doesn't look very good to me. Be careful breathing in those gases because they are poisonous. There is lead in this. Alright, so now we have the two connected. As you can see, they easily just plug into each other. This is your hot glue gun. This is what your battery connects to. And all you have to do is take these two parts and clip them together. And you're ready to go.
Okay. So we'll put the electronics in both the two and then put the let's reassemble the gun together and we'll be done. Okay, so we've put the glue gun back together. As you can see, this is the clip here that'll clip the glue gun to the electronics. This is pretty simple. You just put the case back on here, make sure the trigger is...
You're going to have to put the red parts up inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This part's got to go up in there. And make sure that the trigger is going to be able to clear that.
Yeah.
It's together.
No, it's not. See it? Move your hand. Sorry. Gotta get this part up in here. So there's a...
Okay, so we've got our glue gun together. We're going to put it into the place here. These wires, you've kind of got to manipulate them. We probably should have brought the wires out this way and run it through.
Either way. Alright, but you can see the place where you can fit your chip in. It's decently sized.
Yeah, the chip is basically going to go right in here. And we'll drill out a hole and put the screw that originally came in it back through there to hold it in place. And then we'll plug these together and we're good to go. Okay, so we pre-drilled a hole here through the opening in the bit, in the chip. And now we're just going to tighten this thing down. It doesn't have the little feet holding it in that it used to have, so you're just going to tighten it down till it gets all the way flush. The screw will poke out just a little bit, so it is what it is.
Alright, so next we got to drill the hole for the switch, which we're going to drill on this side since it's pretty clean. We're going to drill it around this area, and we're just going to drill a hole so that this button fits through.
Yep. Oh, by the way, we used a 3/16 drill bit to pre-drill that hole out for the screw.
So we're going to drill this hole and then we'll get back to you.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to drill a hole so you can access the button through the grip. It'll be recessed, so it won't be sticking out. You'll have to kind of stick your finger in there to manipulate the switch. We're using a 5/16 drill bit.
So you can see how this button's going to fit in here. It doesn't quite come all the way through. We might need to drill it a little bit bigger, but it won't quite come all the way through. And you'll press the button in there. Fits through the other side, if I can get it to. See, so we're going to have to trim a little bit off this plastic, a little bit more, so it'll fit in there. So we'll get that, and we'll show you how it fits. So we had to trim the back of this up to fit in here, but as you see the button's recessed a little bit. We're going to use some epoxy to hold it in there, but you just kind of got to get your finger in there to press it. Alright. So we made a little bit of a mistake that I didn't think about. Since we're going to have to take this completely apart if we were to switch out the glue gun, if we epoxy it to this side, it'd rip the switch off. So we're going to re-drill a hole over here. So it's all contained on one side, so that way we can open it up and switch out the glue guns if needed. Alright, so we're going to put the epoxy in here. We drilled the hole on the other side. So we just put it on a plate. Just put it around the hole, around the entire way, and then we'll just press this down, and then we'll place a little bit more on top, just hold it in place. You might have to hold this for it to dry a little bit. It doesn't take very long. But then after we let it dry, we're going to apply a little bit more around it just to make it a little more secure.
Okay, so I've got the switch installed, epoxy down. I've got the terminal down here for the battery back where it's supposed to be placed up. I've got it plugged into the glue gun. Now it's just a matter of taking the glue gun, fitting it over the stem here, and then putting the top down and screwing it together. Got it all together now. Now it's just a matter of putting these screws in. I'm going to pause it while I do that. We'll get back to you. So I've got the glue gun back together here. I did one thing more after I put all these screws together. I scrubbed me a little pilot hole through here into the glue gun. Used one of the silver screws from the bottom of the glue gun and screwed it directly from here into the glue gun. It gives it an extra point, makes it sturdy, and you don't have to worry about the glue gun moving around now. Last thing you do is plug in your battery, hit this button, it's on. If I had glue in there, it'd take about 6 minutes, you'd see it come out the other end. That's it. Turn this off, and thanks for watching. You guys want to know how to make your own cordless glue gun? That's it.